Hello friend, welcome back. In your previous video, I already discussed about that things with you, how can create the post create page, and in our post create page there is a title and then all that category. You can select that category. So this category actually comes from our database category table, and then they have some of the option for the short description, there is a description and also the images. So if you select both of these and if you click on the submit, then all the data will be stored in our database table. So how can do that work? For doing this, first of all, in our create page, if you go to that position, so here I already loaded one of the things, like there is a clear method, there's a post method, and in our post method now there is a post and the store. So right now we have to create that URL. So that means this route we have to create. So this will be the post method. So if you go to that our route area, so for now I just copy it, and now I want to create another one. So that will be our store, like here is defining as a post and then store. Okay, so here is defining it as a post and the store, and after that in our admin folder there is a post controller and then is our store. So now I just define one of the method. I already have that in our post controller, that is the store method. So now I have to work in our store method. Okay, I is defining as a store, so that is post and then store and then all the permissions. So also here defining as a post method. So right now we have to, our method will be the our post method. So I think it should be very much clear to you right now. So here that is our route is now perfect, and now I have to work in our this method, that means store method, in our post controller. So now go to that post controller. So that is our post controller, that is the store method. So now here we have to do all that work for inserting that data. So for doing this, first of all, what exactly the things I did, like here, first of all, I just defined these. Okay, I just first of all want to validate. So here I just defined that these, and then I just defined the validate. Okay, validate, then this request. So here I just define that request. Okay, and after that I just want to actually put some of the array, like here I just define all that condition, like there is a semicolon, and after that I have to define all that our field. Okay, like here first of all our field I just assign on here, there is a title, there is a category. Okay, so category ID, there is a short description, there is a description. So first of all that is actually I just define as a title. Okay, so here I just defining as a title, and then I just make the things as a required. Okay, so here I just define that required, that means this field will be the required. So here if you go to that position, so this field will be the required for the reasons I just defining as a required. And also I take better another one, sorry, I just take that things, and so like here there is another field I defining it as a that is a short description. So I just define that as a short description, it should also be required. And also there is another one, there is a description, so that's I just want to make the things also required. So here I just define that as a required. And also they have the another one, so another one is the this category ID, that means this field. Okay, so here I also put that things as a required. So here I just define all that our required field, that means in our this create table. So title will be the required, the category will be required, the short description will be required, the description will be required, and also there is the another one is the image. So for the image I defining it as a image. Okay, so for now I want to do better, I just take another one, and here I just defining as the image. Here I just defining as the image, so I just define that image. Okay, image field will be also be required. So here first of all I adding all that required field, and then I want to insert it. So for doing this, first of all here you have to do, I just define as a post, and then I first of all create one of the objects for the post model. So here is defining as a new and the post. Okay, so here I just defining the post on here, and make that sure I included, yeah, I already included our post model on particular that position. So now we can actually use it. So after that here first of all I just want to assign here I just want to assign our title with this post. So here I just define the with the post and then the title field. So I already discussed about that things with you. Then I just want to do that things with the request. So with this request, I want to pass that title. So here I just pass the title. I think you can well already know about it because I did this type of work a lot of the time. And also they have the another things, like if you want to pass your title, okay, with as per your title name, that means your page title. So here you can also do that work. For now you can do that like with the post, and then they have also one of the field as a slug. Okay, so with this slug here you can assign it. So they have some of the command as a start slug, underscore slug. So there is a start slug, and into the start slug here I just want to define it, and here I just passed it. So I just passed that request and the title. So in particular that position after the title here, what the kinds of things you want to separate it with this one. So I just separated with the semicolon. Okay, so it will be very much helpful to your title. So it will be very much interactive. For every page this title will be automatically updated with this title name. And then I want to add for our another field for the description and the short description. So I just define as a post. Okay, and then I defined our short description, and then so that is actually the short description, and after that I just defining with this request. Okay, so that means this one. So that will be the short description. I just pass the short description, and also I have to do the same things for the description, but I just take some of the things. So I just define that description, and here I just pass the description field, and also I have to pass the categories ID. So here I define that category ID on here, and also I have other field, like if you go to the database, so also they have the other field as a status. Okay, like there is a status field we have to add, there is a hot news we have to add, there is a view count, there is a main images, that means all that images also we have to do. So step by step, one by one I want to add it. So for now there is a status field. Okay, so here I just defining it as a post and the status, and for that status I just by default want to display as a 1. Okay, so all that one data value will be status value will be visible, and then I want to also, better I just copy it. Okay, I just make that page on particular one line. So here, so then there is status, and after that status there is another field is a hot news. So for that hot news there is also the integer view card, that is also the integer. Okay, so here I just define that hot news. So for the hot news I just define as a 0 value, and then I have that view count. So for the view count I just define, so for the view count I also define as a 0. And also they have the another field, like there is a main image, the thumbnail image, and the list image. So for now we also have to add it. Better I just copy it. Okay, and there is a 3. So first of all that is actually our main image, so that means this main image. So I just copy it, and here there's a main image. So for now first of all I just make the things as a blank. Okay, so here I just make the things as a blank, and then our another field is a thumbnail image. So I just define the thumbnail image, and the list image. So I just define that list image, and for all I just define as a actually blank. So I just define that things as a blank. And after that they have another field, like if you go to that position, so that is actually another field as a created by. So we have to also defining it. Better I just copy it, and here I just defining it as a created by. Okay, so here I just defining the field name as a created by, and for the created by I just defining some of the authentication for this one. Like here I just define as a auth. Okay, which actually created that post, he will be notified that thing. So here I just define that things with the ID. So here I just defining it. Okay, so let's check this out. I just define title, short description, Slack, category ID, category, main, view, hot news, title, status. Okay, so every page I already included on here, and after that I want to save that data. So here I just define that with the post, and with the post I want to save it. Okay, I just define that save. So now we have to work for our image, that means this field. So for the images, if you want to do like I show you, like first of all you have to take one of the variable as a file, and for the file, first of all here I just want to pass that things with this request. Okay, so here with this request, and here I just defining as a file type, so I just defining as a file, and here I just defining as a file name as the image, that means that field name is the image. Okay, so first of all here you have to assign it, and then I just take another variable, so I just define as a extension. Okay, I just define one of the variable as the extension, and with this extension here you have to define one of the get client original extension. They have also one of the method, like so here with this file, so that is actually the file. So with this file I want to access one of the method, so this method is the get client original extension. Okay, extension, so that is one of the method, so you have to declare it, make that sure spelling is correct, like get clients client original and extension. Okay, so that is actually one of the method for uploading that file. And then for the images, all like here I just define our image as a main. Okay, main underscore image, so I just define that main images, and for the main images I first of all I define that post underscore main. Okay, I just defined it, and now I just want to concrete with this post id. So here I just define that post, and then I just define that id, and then I just concrete. Okay, and then I have to define it, and then I just define on concrete, and then with this extension. So this is pretty much one of the common things of, okay, so if you actually get the things with one time, then you can well understand about it. So here I is defining it. So for now we have to define for the other two of this, like one is for the tumble image, so I just define tumble image. One is for the list image, I just define that list image. For the tumble image it should be post tumble, so here I just define as a post tumble. Okay, post tumble, and then for the list I just defining as a post list. Okay, and then and after that list it should be actually underline, and then tumble, then is underline, there is a main, then with the underline. After that then actually it should be concrete with the post id, and after that he will be extended. Okay, so should be okay. And now I want to do, I already created one of the folder in our public, that means here there is a public, I created one of the folder as a post, and into the post folder now I want to actually resize and save all the data on particular that position with the single image. So every image will be separated with the three part. Okay, one of the will be the main part, there is a tumble part and the list part. So now I want to do that work. For doing this, first of all here you define the image. Okay, and then I just define that make, and then I have to define that our list file, that means here I define that file, so here I define that file, and then I want to resize it. Okay, I just want to resize it. So every images will be the some of the resizes, some of the value in Laravel, like it will be as a 653. So here I just define that 653, and I height will be the 569. So I just define that 569. Okay, so that will be one of the resize, and then after that will be save that data. That means save that image. So here I just define that save, and save which folder. So here you have to define that file location, so it will be saved in our public. Okay, public and underscore path. So here you have to define that path, and here I want to define that path. It will be redirected to our first of all slash, and then the that means the public. After the public it will be redirected to the post folder. So here I just define that post folder name, and then I just want to concrete it. So I just concrete with the that image. Okay, so which I actually extended that things on here, so I just defining it on here. So that's all for the one resizes, and also I have to define another sizes. As I told you, it will create a three type of the sizes. One of the is 653 to 569, another one will be at 360, and then it will be the 309. Okay, so that will be the another sizes, and also for the list I just want to make the thing as a 2 1 2 2, and that is will be the 1 2 2. Perfect. And then we will be save and the public and then path, and we should be save all the data in our post folder with this main image. So that should be actually the thumble image and the list image. So for the thumble, I just defining it as a thumble image, and also that the list image, the list will be the 360. So here I just defining it as a list image. So now we have to actually define before I make the things as a blank. So now I want to insert all the things, like it should be the inner post, it should be inserted with this, that means this image. So here I is defining it. Okay, and for the thumble image it should be defined as a thumble, and for the list image it should be defined as a list. Perfect. So that's all you have to do, and after that I want to actually save this. So here I define that post, and then I define the save, that means save all the image. Okay, so here I just save it, and then I want to return, then I just want to redact that page. Okay, redact which page. I just define one of the action on here, like as the action, and then here I just define it. So after that, submitting all the data, it should be redirected to our index method. Okay, like when all the data will be inserted, then it should be redirected to our posts, that means our index method. So for now I already created one of the things, like that is actually the URL. So I just copy it, and here I just define that, put that action. And in our index I already defined our list page. I hope it's very much clear to you. And now I just define with, and here I also want to transfer some of the success image. Okay, success message. So here that is actually the our message will be post created successfully. Okay, so this type of message will be visible. After that you have to assign the semicolon. So that's all you have to do. I just first of all define that as a required, and after that I just define all that images, all that our field, and also I just define that images, I just resize that images. Okay, and that is the images, and I just save it, and after the save I just put that redact message, it should be redirected to our index method. And here I also pass out the success message as a post created successfully. So perfect. Now let's check this out. If everything okay, it should be work. Now I just click on the save all. Okay, I just click on the save all, and now I just refresh that page. So here there is actually the syntax and expected a post. You can say I didn't use the is equal to, so that should be actually is equal to. So it's pretty much a simple mistake. So that is actually the is equal to. Now let's check this out. If I get any error, I will solve it. So they have nothing worried about it. So I just refresh that page again. Yeah, now you can see it's now perfect. So now let's check this out. Our title and post actually work or not. For now I just define as a test. Okay, test post for news, and then I just select as a mobile or a sports for now, and now I just copy some of the demo text, and that will be our short description. So that will be our long description, and here I just define one of the image. Right now I just define one of the image as a this one, that is actually the JPG. So now I just open it, and here you can see it's now showing as a demo to JPG. So now I just click on the submit. So now they have some of the error, this class image not found. So you can see here I define that image, so we have to also use that image on here. So here I just define that use and then image. Okay, so here I just define that image and then semicolon, and now let's check this out. I just click on the save all, and now go back and now do the refresh. Okay, so now I just want to do that things again, like test news. I just define that things as a sports one, and we find some of the short description, some of the description, and just browse some of the images, open it, and now click on the submit. Yes, you can see now post created successfully. And here that is our post, and there is our actually previous post. So previously I already inserted all the data without that images because of I didn't use that image. Okay, so now it's perfectly working on here. So if you create new one, now I just define as a post news 2, okay, or 3, and here is defined as a mobile. I just define some of the short description, and then I just define the description, and I just define some of the images. Now click on the open, click on the submit. Yes, you can see the post created successful. So here there is a I just defining images, and particular that position is image is now loaded on here. There is a title, there is an author. So author I will do that things later. There is a number of total views will be automatically visible on here. There is also status as a published and unpublished, and if you select as a published, so right now that is the status we have to create. Okay, so we will do that things later. I hope you can well understand about it. And also there is the edit button, there is a delete button. So step by step I will show you each and everything with live example. And also I already defined all that images will be the three part. Okay, like here I already defined one of the image resizing. It should be created every images with the three part. Okay, one of the is the main image, the list image, and thumbnail image. And I just assign save all the data in our post folder. So if you go to that post folder, now let's check this out. Yes, you can see now that is actually the images. Every image is actually created the three part. Like this image size, you can see that is equal 360 to 309, and that is another size. So that is actually 653 and the 569, and that is another size. There is 122 and 122. I hope now it's very much clear to you what exactly the things I want to do on particular that position, and now it successfully insert all the data. And after that insert all the data, is now redirected to our post list page, and now it's visible on here and also showing that message. And also if you go to your database, like if you go to the browse, and here you can see our all that post is now successfully inserted in our database table. Okay, so I hope it's very much clear to you. In our next video I will discuss about how can display your author on particular that position, and how can also publish and unpublish that status. So step by step I will cover each and everything with live example. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.